Welcome to the Introduction to SketchUp for Schools Part 6, in which we're going to be creating a blank template. Now this video is going to be a little bit different to some of the others because we're going to be going through various steps, and what I'm going to do is ask you to pause the video and do those steps yourself. At the end of it, what we're going to have is a SketchUp model which is going to be empty, but we're going to have an environment that's going to be a good starting point for all future models. You'll see there are a number of steps that we're going to go through to do this, and what it does is save us from going through those steps each and every time we create ourselves a new drawing. The way we're going to start, so please pay attention because I'm going to ask you to pause and do this in a minute, is we're going to come here to the main menu, we're going to click on Home, we're going to create new, and we're going to create simple template millimeters. Now I've got an old model here, so it's going to ask me if I want changes. I'm going to say no. So I'd like you to pause your video please and do those steps. It's going to be the main menu, Home, New, Simple Template Millimeters. Don't save your previous model. Please do that now. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get rid of this little person here. So first thing is we're going to delete him. We don't need him. He's actually in the model as a component, so we're going to come here to the components menu. We've got nothing visible here, but he's in the model itself, so we're going to click on the house, and then what we're going to do is click these three arrows to purge. That will clear your model of any components that are not actively on your workspace. So please pause this video and do that. Firstly, delete the object, components, house, purge. Please pause, do that now. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to be setting our environment. We have the green landscape and the blue sky, and we want to get rid of that. So we're going to come over here to styles, and styles are standard ways of setting the background, the colors we use, and everything else. What we're going to be using, we have this little arrow here for, or the magnifying glass for browse. That's fine. We're going to click here on default styles. There are two styles that are useful to us. I use this one here called shaded, and that's what I'm going to suggest you click. It's a very good one for modeling. Sometimes, however, I find if I'm producing printed documents, the outline needs to be a little bit darker, or I need to separate my dimensions from the object, in which case I might select construction documentation style. That is up to you. Just remember that the option is there. Also, sometimes you're going to want to see the inside of your shape. You will come here and use X-ray, but right now it's going to select the shaded style. So please pause the video and do that again. Remember, what we did is from where we were, we came here, we clicked on styles. We didn't need to click anything here. We simply came to default styles and clicked on shaded. Please pause the video and do that now. Okay, we're going to skip over a step and come back. We're going to come down here to model information, and we're going to open up this panel. Now, first thing we're going to need to do is the length units. We need to make sure that it is on 0.0 millimeters. We need to be on millimeters. We should be, because we started with that template in millimeters, and that should be fine. The next one we need to click is the precision. We click on 0 without any decimal places. Please make sure that this tick is selected, and make sure the snap interval is 1 millimeter. So just a refresher, what we're going to be doing is coming to model information, 0.0 millimeters, 0, tick, 1 millimeter. Please pause the video and do that now. Right, the next thing we're going to be looking at is the angle unit. So we're going to firstly click on this little arrow here, and we're going to scroll down. I've used my scroll wheel, but you can drag the bar this way. Once again, while precision, we do not need to show fractions of an angle, so we're going to click on 0. We're going to click the tick to say that we do want angle snapping, and 15 degrees is adequate. Please pause the video once we've done this. So remember, show the angle units, 0, tick, 15 degrees. Please pause your video, go to your drawing, your model, and do that now. Okay, from here we're going to scroll back up, and we're going to click on this letter T for text, and this allows us to set some information or set some styles for the dimensions that we're going to be putting on the drawing. I find that they need to stand out a little bit better, so the font of Open Sans is fine, but I'd like you to click on bold. I'd like you to make that 14, and the align to the dimensions is going to be fine. This is on the screen, and that means that no matter which way you organize it, it's going to show up and be visible to you, so we're going to keep that selected. And I find that it's a little bit clearer if we click on this one here that says slash. We do not have any dimensions up here, so we do not need to click on the button that says update all dimensions, but if you were to make these changes when there were already dimensions on your drawing, you would go ahead and do that then. But for now, let's repeat the instructions. Before you go do it, click on the T, make that bold, 14, leave this as it is, click on slash. Please pause the video and go do that now. Okay, I'm going to close that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a little cube here. Now I'm going to do that by selecting my rectangle tool. So I'm clicking here, rectangle. I'm going to click once on the origin. I'm going to drag, I'm going to click. Now before I move, touch, do anything else, all I'm going to do is type 500, 500. You'll notice I did not move my cursor into the dimensions bar, but the dimensions are changing down the bottom here. So there they are. I haven't clicked, I haven't done anything. I've typed the numbers in. Now I'm going to press enter, and you'll see that it resizes that rectangle. So a reminder, click here, click your rectangle tool, click once, click twice, type 500, 500 without moving the cursor. Do not click in that box. Hit enter, and you'll get a rectangle. Please pause the video and do that now. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to come back here to the push-pull tool. We're going to make sure we select push-pull. We're going to hover over that surface. We're going to pull up and let go. So we're going to drag it up. I'm now just going to type 500. I haven't moved my mouse. I haven't clicked into the measurements box or anything like that. I'm just going to click enter, and that creates a cube. So reminder, push-pull, click and drag, release it, 500, enter. Please pause the video and do that now. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come back to this views menu here, and we're going to open this up, and I'm going to click on this one in the bottom left corner. That's going to give me my orientation the way I want it. But I can close the views menu off. You can see that this doesn't take up much space in my screen. I'm going to zoom it to where I'm comfortable, and this just means that when I draw something, and most of our items will be less than 500 millimeters, I will be able to see it. It won't be zoomed out tremendously. So I've just done this. I'm using my scroll wheel to zoom in, but otherwise what you're going to need to do is use your zoom button, or you can use zoom extents, but that's a little bit too close. So you'll need to zoom and then zoom back out a little bit to something looking like that. So please, as a reminder of the steps, we're going to use the views window, views panel. We're going to click on this button here. Then we're going to zoom till it's actually a comfortable size on the screen. Please pause the video and do that now. Okay, we don't actually need this shape on our blank document, so I'm going to select the whole thing, which I've triple clicked. I'm going to hit my delete key so it goes away, and all that remains is to save it. Now I can, because this is untitled, I should be able to hit save and it'll ask me for a name. Otherwise, a better way of doing this and a habit to get into is to come to your main menu and click save as. So we have untitled. I'm going to double click and type in blank. That is my name. I'm going to say OK. It's going to ask me where to put it. Now this goes back to Google Drive, and in the very first video we set up the Google Drive. So we're going to go firstly into the folder for 2020, or whatever year that is that you happen to be doing this, in the folder for Design, Tech and Engineering, and then we're going to select but not double click to go into SketchUp. So just to show you this again, to actually get into the folder, I have to double click, and I have to double click, and that moves me through the folder list. But I do not want to double click because I cannot select the folder to save. So I have to be here in this one, and I click once to select, and then it will allow me to select that, and it is saved. That means that this folder called blank.skp is sitting in that folder, which is the SketchUp folder under DTE under 2020 in your drive in Google Drive. And what we have now is a blank document. If we want to create a new document from here, so what we saw before is we could go to new, which does this. If I wanted to do that, I can go through here, I could go home, I could create a new from my simple template in millimeters. That way I know I'm in millimeters. When I hit new, I didn't know what I was in, but I'd have to go through all of these steps to get this setup that I've already got. A better way of doing that is to come over here to open, to navigate through 2020 DTE into SketchUp and open my blank document. Now what I do suggest you do is, as soon as it's open, get into the habit of coming here and hitting Save As and give it a new name, and hit OK. The reason why is because SketchUp has autosave, Save As, so it's going to ask me where I want to do it. I give it a new name, I have to select its folder and go through that same process. SketchUp has autosave. If you do not save it straight away, you're going to get all sorts of remnants of your drawing in your blank document at the time, right up to the point at which you do save it with the correct name. So it's far better if you open the blank document and immediately rename it and then commence work, than if you commence work and rename it later. Just a small tip. Otherwise, what you're going to have to do every now and again is delete everything and possibly go into the components and purge that as well, and maybe some other parts of it. That should be everything that you need to do. We now have a blank document. We should be ready to start, and from here on we'll be moving on to actually drawing shapes or using the tools, and it's a totally different set of videos. That wraps up this series on Introduction to SketchUp for Schools. Thank you for watching. Good luck with it. I hope you enjoy using the software. It is a fantastic skill to develop. Good luck with it.